Hello, LinkedIn. Friday again, and this is one of my Friday demos. I've got, if time permits, two demos to share with you to cover in the next 6 minutes. The first demo, this is called Tone-Based Article Summarizer. So let's say we have an article. This is an article about global data center outlook in 2025. A lot of information. There's some amount of AI here, as you'd expect. And obviously, I'm very excited about it, and I've got career credentials in that space. So I'm going to put the source article link here. What you see here, ignore this thing about CV link, ignore the word CV, but what I have done is actually I have actually included my CV, my detailed CV, which is what work I have done. I have some more detailed professional stories that I have included. These are going to go as context information to a AI language model. And then I've given some further inputs, which look like, which are actually articles I've written in the past. So like I wrote an article about matrix key maker and electric curve cryptography. So I basically want to create an article that reflects my tone of voice, which is why I'm passing this information. So to summarize with you, I have an article from the industry, it's industry research, and I have also got my previously written article, 16-page of that, my CV, and I've got a set of stories that I've written, which is what I'm feeding to this application. Now, if you see here, I'm saying, I really want to target, I want to write something that is relevant for, so there it is processing now. And just to give you an idea about what is happening in the backend, a lot of things are happening in the backend. If I were to show you, information in base being fetched from Google Documents, URLs are being scraped, the language model is being called, and a summary obtained, and a Google document has been created with my tone of voice. So let's look at what that looks like. This is how it looks like. This document here got generated, and then you got a source here. You got a view about navigating this. This is the summary of the article that has been generated. It's addressed to the CIOs. I think by default we went to CIOs. I didn't change it to CEOs the second time. So it talks about demands of AI, demand surge, power transmission bottlenecks, nuclear renaissance, liquid cooling imperative, development financing boom, modern trade assets. And what is good about it is that whereas it gives an opinion about what the strategic implications are, it provides my view. So effectively, it brings out how is my experience relevant to some of the bits that are being talked about. So this picks up from my information, and then it positions, it kind of makes my position a bit more relevant in terms of the ability to contribute to this particular subject matter. So again, long story short, this is a good probably marketing capability. So I wanted to share this with you. So hope you enjoyed it. So here we are for the second demo. This demo is an ability to scrape from a lead point of view. So what I mean by that is if I search for travel agency in Seoul Street, Cobham, I expect to see some results. Yeah, you do see some results here. There are a fair amount of results, right? Now, if I were to be able to, how good it would be if I could specify the travel agency location and say extract irrelevant information about them, like their names, phone numbers, email addresses, websites, etc., and then store them in a document. So let's say I've got something called leads document. So I'm just copying this particular name from here and pasting it here. But because the way I've written the program, it just needs the ID, I'm going to delete the bits that are not the ID. So I'm only going to keep the ID of the document, which is until here. When I start that, assuming it has started, and I do the start scraping functionality, it's sending the request to the server. So let's see what has happened. As you can see here now, what is happening is it is finding information on the internet. You see it finding Riverview Travels. And it's going to find a load of websites. We're going to let it find it, and we'll come back to you in a few seconds once it has found it. Oh yeah, I must mention that it regular expressions. So it does a fetch. It fetches it scrapes the website information. When I say website information, it scrapes the Google, this particular page, and then it looks for where it can find like a website address. And once it finds that, like at the bottom you see kentravelcompany.co.uk, it goes inside the website and then gets other details from within the website. So we will let it process. Now there we go. Now scraping website. So what it'll do now is it'll go to travelboutique.co.uk. There you see. So if I go to travelboutique.co.uk, you'll go inside the website. It'll probably get this email, phone number. It'll probably also get, if it can find email addresses somewhere, it'll find that email addresses, and we'll see it shortly, the results. Right. So it's found 64 relevant websites results. So it's scraping through all of them. So this is tailoredafrica.com. So it's really gone a little bit beyond Salt Street. It's gone to Rotham and some of the neighboring areas, Northfleet. Yeah, these are all areas around where I live. Right. So it has scraped information from the websites, and it has pushed the updates to the Google document here. Right. Let's have a look at Google spreadsheet. Yeah, there we go. So here are all the stuff that it has located, collected. Jewel Tours, that's the website. It didn't find their other details, but it found stuff around the Ken Travel Company, found about Gemstone Travels, their email addresses. So yeah, so to summarize again, the first demo was to take an article and provide your digital personality traits through some context and create a summary with your point of view interspersed within in an output of the article. So that was the first demo we shared. The second demo is Scrapper from Google Maps, whereby you can look at a business type, at a location, and then capture the information in a database. So that's what this demo has been. So hopefully you find it useful. If this is of interest, then please feel free to be in touch with me, Mondrip Chakravarti. I'll put my details in comments. And yeah, happy to support and help with your initiatives. Thank you. Bye-bye.